Story 1. How do I, 21 male, communicate with my girlfriend, 22 female, that seeing each other this often has been hurting our relationship? We're a little under 4 months into the relationship. So because it's winter break at my school, I've been seeing my girlfriend about 4 to 5 times a week. At first it was fun, but recently it seems like seeing her this often has caused us to get into a bit more arguments. We enjoy each other's company a lot, and I know we have such a loving relationship, but she's caught me off guard with her irritation at me with the things I've said, and we recently have gotten into a couple arguments. Nothing yelling, of course, but just talking back at each other and ruining good nights. This has also taken a toll on our intimate life, because we have intercourse usually every time she shows up to my house, so it seems like that has been too much, and she'll get upset with me if I choose not to have intercourse that night, because she has told me she hates the rejection for wanting intercourse. I go back to school this week, and I think that'll help a lot, because with the fewer times we do see each other, it would be a lot more meaningful, but I just don't know if I should say my thoughts right now to her, or just wait till school starts and let everything play out itself. This is my first true relationship, no friends with benefits, so it's been frustrating recently on how to handle this just due to me being new to it all. If anyone could help me out with this, that would be perfect. Thank you. I mean, you all know what I'm going to say. I say it so often with any of these posts about relationship, but communicate. Talk to her. Like, sit her down and be like, these are my feelings. This is how I feel. Don't try and, blame anything on her. Just let her know how you're feeling and give her an opportunity to let her express how she is feeling. Because that is a lot of seeing each other that early into a relationship, especially when you're that young and you're that new to, romantic relationships. Yeah, it can be a lot. And so, yeah, I would just say you really need to communicate your feelings with her from the start. And maybe you're going to find out that you two aren't compatible in certain ways, I don't know. There's so many possibilities there. And folks keep talking about this stuff without being like, we had a long conversation about this. That never enters into any of this, because if they did, they probably wouldn't need a post here. Story 2. Friends ditched me because I don't shave, so I got the ringleader to pay for a wax session and then sent in my mom. So I, 24 female, stopped shaving about a year ago. I've never liked it, and I finally started dating someone who also doesn't shave and helped me feel more comfortable with my body. It's been awesome. However, not everyone I know sees it like that. My parents have stopped pestering me about it, but my friends still make offhand comments. I've been taking them as lighthearted jokes, but this past weekend cemented that they were definitely more malicious. One of my friends, Allie, 25 female, had her bachelorette party this past weekend. She and some of our friends, 22 female, 23 female, 24 female, 24 female, 25 female, got together for the weekend and went to a beach along the Florida coastline. To make a long story short, one of them noticed when I was changing that I hadn't shaved and offered me a few razors. One for each region, obviously, and some shaving cream, and told me we had plenty of time before we hit the beach. I told her, no thanks, that I was ready whenever they were. Allie came to find me an hour later and told me I really should shave before we head out. Again, I said no thanks, and that I was comfortable going without shaving. I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth and apply some preemptive sunscreen to my face, and while I was there, they left me and went to the beach. When they came back, they pretended they thought I didn't want to go, and that they didn't mean to leave me out, even though I'd literally told them all I would be ready to head out after I used the bathroom. To say I felt like crap is an understatement. It stuck with me the entire weekend. Allie and I were alone in the car after dropping the others off, and she once again brought up my body hair. At that point, I was so angry that I told her fine, if she'd make an appointment with a waxer, I'd get a Brazilian. She was excited and agreed and told me I would love it. She texted me the info later. Once I had it, I called up my mom, who gets waxed when she has the time and money for it, as she prefers it to shaving, and gave her the info and told her to go get a free wax. I didn't tell her Allie paid for me, just that I thought she deserved a free trip, so happy not birthday or whatever. Allie texted me right after the appointment was meant to be over and asked how I went. I told her I sent it to my mom and she was very pleased with the experience. She lost her crap. Serves her right, in my opinion. Also, my mom knows the truth behind what happened. She's in my corner about it. She's also just happy to get a free and very nice wax sesh. Women don't have to shave. End of discussion. Anyone in the comments who's like, no, I don't like it when a girl doesn't shave. I don't know. Grow up. Like, stop needing women to look perfectly smooth. If you like shaving, fine. Shave whatever you want. Clearly I do. But if you don't like shaving, don't. You don't have to. It's perfectly fine. There are so many women in the world who don't shave. And it's fine. And if you have this weird gross out problem with it, ask yourself, is it because they look too adult? What is it? What is it about body hair that grosses you out to the point where it's like, I can't stand it? Like, if you prefer certain looks, fine, whatever. But if you're to the point where someone has body hair and you're like, no, I can't, that won't abide. People aren't supposed to be like that in society. Shut up. That's so dumb. I can't stand that mindset. Person, you're in the right. Good for you. And anyone who says, well, her friend paid that money for her, so really she lied to her friend. Her friend lied first by leaving her out of the beach thing. So, friend got what she deserved in my opinion. Sucks to them, and good for the person who posted this. Story 3. Today I effed up by telling my girlfriend my type. Obligatory, happened a couple months ago, but realized I effed up this morning. Sometime back, I brought up the topic of types. I mentioned it because her best friend and I seemed to damn near be the exact same individual, just of different genders, and I joked that she must have a type. She took it a bit more seriously than I intended and proceeded to tell me she wasn't sure she had a type, but she did like it when men were comfortable with expressing femininity, and that she thought tattoos were cool. She then asked me my type, and I told her that generally it's been curvy blondes with long hair, big chests, and blue eyes. She lightly teased me for having basic tastes, and we moved on. The past couple of months, she's been asking for constant reassurance, asking if I'm sure I like her immediately after moments of intimacy, asking if I find her attractive, etc. She also stopped coming with me to the gym, which was strange because she loves weightlifting and has lost a lot of her muscle tone. This morning, a woman walked past our car at a red light. I sincerely didn't notice her, but my girlfriend said, wow, look at her, she's exactly your type. I hadn't thought about that conversation since it happened, but everything made sense instantly. I told my girlfriend that she was my type. She said, not even close, and started crying. I've only seen her cry one other time in the 4 years I've known her. My girlfriend is tall, flat-chested, muscular, and has short brown hair and brown eyes. She's beautifully androgynous, and occasionally people mistake her for a very pretty teenage boy. I love and am attracted to every bit of this about her more than any other type that exists because she's her. She said when she spoke about her type, she said she described a vague style pretty much anyone could embody, and I do dress and style myself a bit adventurously for a man. Meanwhile, I described an individual person she was in no way similar to, but always felt like she was expected to be. She said she couldn't go to the gym anymore because she'd tell herself I was checking out other girls. I'd glance sometimes, but not egregiously, and we used to do this together. And all she could think about was how unlike my ideal she was. That one throwaway conversation had been eating away at and completely wrecked her self-esteem for months, and I only just realized. Looking back, she definitely did try to bring it up once before early on, and I brushed it off with a, "You're perfect for me, baby, don't worry about stupid stuff," not understanding how bad she was feeling. So yeah, I feel like I effed up. Not sure what to do about it. Yeah, I don't have any advice, aside from the fact that you two have talked about it, and hopefully you can get over it, and also, let her know, like, seriously, that's just been, like, a type in the past, but you transcend this, and it also doesn't define me. I don't like the idea of types and everything. I've never fully gotten that, but as a pansexual man who is into all types, I mean, seriously, if you want to go, like, celebrities that I've had crushes on, we've got Janine Garofalo, seriously, she's amazing, Tom Hiddleston, Henry Cavill. I'm all over the effing place. Seriously, I don't know that I have a type, and I don't know that describing your type is necessarily a good thing to do, because people will always question that. Even if you say a type that really perfectly describes the person you're with, like, what if they wanted to change their hair or something? You're like, oh, my type is girls with long hair. Now they're like, oh, but I wanted to cut my hair. Oh, I don't know. I mean, again, it just comes down to being open and honest and discussing, but also just, I don't know, types are silly and just a weird thing to bring up, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that harmful to have. I don't know how I feel. It's weird, but I hope that you two can get past this, because you sound like a lovely couple other than that one mishap, so. Story 4. Today I effed up by eating fast and being mistaken for a convict. So of course this was a month ago, but I recently just got out of the US Marine Corps and moved to Australia to live near my family while I completed a degree with the GI Bill. Anyway, I was out in town meeting with some potential employers and had been busy all morning and afternoon, so I found myself getting a real lunch late at this small Japanese joint that was pretty busy. Being ex-infantry, old habits tend to die hard. Within 2 minutes of teriyaki chicken and rice being delivered to my table, I've completely demolished the entire plate with barely a grain of rice left in the bowl. I wolfed it down, and I guess I was slightly hunched over in the whole time because I was starving. Some larger, heavily tattooed biker-type looking gentleman noticed that impressive teriyaki turbo demolition, and also noticed I was built somewhat well and had a tatted-up left arm myself. He came up to me and asked immediately, "How long have you been out?" Now, military dudes can easily recognize other military dudes even if they're dressed normal. I was just a t-shirt and jeans, so I thought that was what he was referring to. "I just got out," is more or less what I told him, thinking that's what he meant. Hakia, or, I couldn't remember the name of the other West Australian prison he mentioned, but my dumb butt just assumed those were Australian army bases. "Nah, Camp Lejeune in the States," I told him. At that point, his eyes opened wide, and he was telling me that I was hard crap, which is what began to confuse me, because as far as I was concerned, Lejeune was nothing special. Just a big multi-purpose base. I was initially like, huh, and he clarified it because I was in America. He hadn't used the words jail or prison to any extent in the conversation yet, and he even sat down to chat with me. We kinda had some small talk about how the transition is hard, and so is readjusting your habits and language to be society-friendly, and sure enough, he finally asks what I was in for. Assuming he meant my MOS, I just went, "Oh, infantry." "What, kids?" We kind of just looked at each other after that, me confused at the stupidity, him in disgust. I clarified that that's what they call grunts, and then it finally came up that he was talking about what I was in jail for, to which I answered I'd never been, and we both had a bit of an awkward, oh crap moment, and laughed it off like dumb butts. We both apologized for being stupid and went our separate ways. I feel like there's way too easy of a joke to compare, like, certain military services to prisons, but it doesn't seem in great taste, so I'm not gonna make them. But come on, it's like, it's in sight. We can all see it, right? But I also don't think it would be really, truly accurate, because I know very little about either. And so, I'm gonna just shut my mouth right there. But otherwise, I mean, heck, you made a new friend. You might as well have just been like, well, I don't know, we can still hang out, whatever, cool. Like, both seem like pretty cool guys, as far as I know, and he was disgusted when you said infantry and he thought it meant something else, so it's like, hey, probably not a bad kind of criminal. Both of you are, out now, so, I don't know, new friend. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.